And we are live. It's Dr. J here in the house. Today, we're going to be talking about that one thing that could be lowering your progesterone levels. Most of female hormone issues, whether it's mood or PMS, and even fertility, actually revolve around progesterone. We'll talk about what I think that one thing is, and maybe I give you a bonus thing as well. And before we do, please smash the like button. I'd love to see your comments down below, and definitely will be responding. All right, guys. So first off, progesterone. Why is it important? So progesterone is the progestational hormone. If here's a woman's cycle from start to finish, the first half is called the follicular phase. We remember that from F in follicular, F in first. And the second half of the cycle is the luteal phase. I remember L is in luteal, L is in last. So first follicular, L as in luteal, second half of the cycle. So estrogen predominates the first half of the cycle, peaks at around day 10. Progesterone comes up around day 10 and comes up, and around 15 is this ovulation period between estrogen peaking and progesterone coming up. That's ovulation. And then progesterone continues to peak around day 20. That's the true peak in the luteal phase. And so we like to get a sample of progesterone right in the middle of that phase so we can get a good window into overall output. So if we have lower day 20, day 21 progesterone, we're assuming that overall progesterone throughout the month is probably on the lower side. And of course, that progesterone continues to go down and drops around day 27, 28, which triggers that menstrual flow. That's your menstrues, your period, essentially. And that's healthy progesterone. Now, a lot of times due to chronic stress, chronic inflammation, progesterone will peter out early. Why? Because progesterone will pinch hit for cortisol. Progesterone can go downstream and become cortisol. Just like upstream in the brain, dopamine can go downstream and become adrenaline or norepinephrine. And so stress depletes our brain chemicals like dopamine, which help for focus and cognitive function and feeling good. It's a reward center neurotransmitter. And then also we have progesterone is really important for the GABA chloride channels in our brain, relaxation, sleep, chilling out. And also really important for avoiding a lot of that PMS. And obviously it's the sticky glue that allows that egg to implant into the uterine lining. And thus you have HCG kick in with the corpus luteum once you get pregnant, and then allows more progesterone to kind of hold that egg in place. So progesterone has a lot of important benefits. One of the biggest things I see that can impact progesterone are going to be blood sugar aberrations. Now, blood sugar aberrations can be lots of processed sugar and carbs and not enough protein and fat. And then you're creating a blood sugar roller coaster up and down. That could be a problem. It could also be just fasting. I see this a lot. People think, oh, I'm doing a great job. I'm fasting. It's like, that may actually be putting more stress on your blood sugar because your body wants nutrients. It wants building blocks to make steroid hormones. It wants healthy fats to turn over those cell membranes. It wants nutrients, right? And if we're not getting those foods coming in, if we're just getting a bunch of processed foods that don't actually have those nutrients, those building blocks, then we have a problem. And most of our hormones are going to be either peptide-based, usually like thyroid and up, right? Thyroid and up to the brain are going to be usually peptide-based. They're going to be made from protein. With the exception of like the pancreas is going to be peptide as well. Some of the pituitary hormones are peptide. Most of them are peptide. And then your downstream sex hormones are all going to be cholesterol. Think progesterone, think pregnenolone, think cortisol, think testosterone, and think estrogen. Those are all going to be cholesterol. And so it's important that we actually have the raw material that we need in the form of our diet to make those hormones. If we don't get the raw material, then that's going to be a problem, right? If you want to build a home, you need so much concrete, so much piping, so much 2x4s for the framing. If you don't have enough, you can't produce that raw material out of thin air. Same thing with your body. Now, your body can make cholesterol. It's going to just take more stress out of the body to do it. You're still going to need the nutrients, and you're still going to have to keep inflammation down. Because if we have inflammation very high too, let's say we're eating a bunch of foods, let's say bad fats, let's say we're eating things, but they're generally inflaming us. That's going to also take that progesterone and have it go downstream to cortisol as well. Really important. I'll try to show you guys a video or an image so you guys can see it and visualize it here. I'll find a good one. Here's a good one here. I'll pull it up for y'all. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one by ZRT. I'll pull this one up here for you guys. So again, chronic stress, chronic inflammation, that is going to cause problems. So here's a good one here. All right, so cool. So you can see right here, guess where all your hormones are made from? All your steroid ones, they're made from cholesterol. Okay, and then cholesterol becomes pregnenolone, one of my favorite supplements. Love that. And then pregnenolone can go downstream to progesterone over here. And then look what happens. It can go down to corticosteroids, or it can go down to progesterone over here, 17-OH progesterone, and that can go down to cortisol as well. So you can see we can pull pregnenolone to progesterone, and we can pull it down into stress hormones. All right, so the more stressed and inflamed we are, guess what? The lower progesterone we're going to have. All right, that's a big one. That's a really, really big one. So in general, reduce inflammation, right? Anti-inflammatory. What does anti-inflammatory mean? Healthy proteins, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised or more natural wild-caught fish is going to be great. Try to choose animal proteins that have a natural environment. If you can't afford that, just do your best, right? Natural, hormone-free, it's still better than not. And then again, choose healthy fats. What are going to be your healthiest fats? Choose fats that are more saturated. You have fats that have a carbon and a hydrogen bond, or sorry, carbon and a carbon bond. There's a single bond between the two carbons, right? Single bond. When we do that, we have saturated the hydrogens all around the carbon bonds. When we start adding double bonds between the carbon, now that starts to become unsaturated, right? So if we start to have, let's say, monounsaturated, that means one double bond in there. If we start to have omega-6, that means on the sixth bond is a double bond. And omega-3 is the third bond is a double bond. So the more double bonds we have, the more that structure can kink and the more prone to oxidation it is, the more fragile it is. And so we want to avoid fats that are like that. Be very careful with fasting. There's a lot of people talking about fasting. And it can be problematic because we want to have nutrients coming into our body on a stable level so our body can say, yes, these nutrients are coming in good. It's like if you're used to getting paid once a week and then it's like, oh, I'm getting paid every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. You're like, wait a minute, I'm depending and counting on that money coming in. I'm counting on those nutrients coming in because I have allocation for that. I have things I'm going to go make and use with that money and buy with that money, right? Same thing with our body. Now, again, how you can do it when you intermittent fast is try not to do it every day, do it sparingly. And if you do it, make sure you're still getting enough nutrients throughout the day. So let's say you're getting 1,800 calories of whole food, nutrient dense foods, but let's say you're compressing your feeding window. Let's say your dinner was at 6 and you're not eating breakfast or your first meal the next day till 12 and 2. Well, make sure between 12 and 6, right? You're getting at least 2 big meals in there with enough calories / nutrients, because all nutrients have calories, not all calories have nutrients. So wrap your head around that. So we want to make sure we have calories that have nutrients, and that way we have enough coming in there. Because the benefit is that window of not fasting, you're not making any insulin when you don't eat. And so you're just helping to get those insulin receptor sites more sensitive, and you're helping that pancreas to make less insulin. And when you make less insulin, you can upregulate the hormone-sensitive lipase enzyme that helps you burn fat. When insulin's high, you cannot burn fat. Fat is locked away. It is in a vault, a bank vault locked away with a combination you can't get to. When insulin gets low, you start making lipolytic enzymes, lipo meaning fat, lytic meaning to break or cut, versus lipogenic, lipo meaning fat, genic meaning to make or the formation of. So we want lipolytic, and that means we have to have insulin down low. You could have someone just literally just eating food or barely even eating and just giving them an IV of insulin, and every bit they put in their body, they're going to just convert to fat. They're going to convert to fat, right? It's a problem. So we got to get the insulin down. And so if you're going to get the benefits of intermittent fasting, do it intermittently. If not, your body's going to adapt. And then 2, make sure in that feeding window you have enough. But again, progesterone, blood sugar is the key. These blood sugar fluctuations, and if we add inflammation to it, let's say we're fluctuating because we're eating a bunch of processed food, even worse. So just wanted to give you guys this information. Hope you enjoy it. Again, if you want to dive in deeper, if you want to get your hormones looked at, test your luteal phase, look at your progesterone, look at your cortisol levels, let me know. We test these worldwide. So there'll be a link down below if you want to reach out to my staff and team. We do these testing all the time, and we can look at and get customized protocols, make sure diet and lifestyle and all the other hidden underlying sources of inflammation and stress are under control so your hormones can be as healthy and as balanced as possible. Again, Dr. J here signing off. If you enjoyed it, comment